That's what he did at top of his head.
Huh?
We're busy guys.
We're all busy. We're all busy.
Oh, that's right.
All these people?
Okay, no,
That's
we're
why I
on.
thought it was going to be a real short meeting.
They got a whack pretty good.
Just with different things, right?
It's for the police.
Police week and
Police
there's like
week.
5 appointments.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Carrie, you ready? Let's go ahead and call the meeting to order, please.
Regular meeting of Washington, Missouri City Council, May 7th, 2018, 7 p.m. Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Mohesky.
Aye.
Patke.
Here.
Pettit.
Here.
Scornia.
Here.
Sullentrop.
Here.
Waterman.
Here.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the
Flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will all the council members answer if they have or have not read the minutes of the council meetings dated April 16th, 2018? Heidrich.
Aye.
Holtmeyer.
Aye.
Mohesky.
Aye.
Patke.
Yes.
Pettit.
Yes.
Scornia.
Nope. My computer crashed.
Sullentrop.
Yes.
Waterman.
Yes.
Having read the minutes, are there any comments or questions?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sullentrop, seconded by Heidrich, to approve the minutes from our last meeting dated April 16, 2018. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your votes, you approve the minutes. Thank you.
Approval and adjust of the agenda, including consent agenda. You have the city collector's report, October and November 2017, final payment request, cassette appliance and electric, airport monument sign lighting, and payment request, Washington Engineering and Architecture, Inc., Shoals Industrial Park, stormwater improvement.
Okay, are there any questions or comments regarding these items?
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Holtmeyer, seconded by Sullentrop, to approve the items on the consent agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the items. Thank you.
Priority items, mayor's presentations, appointments, and reappointments. Mayor's proclamation, Bicycle Safety Week.
Okay. We have a number of proclamations this evening. A lot of important weeks coming up, I guess. So anyway, the first one is Bicycle Safety Week, and I believe Cindy Bisher and Julie Frankenberg are here from The Optimist, and City from the, so come forward, please. Anyway. And Captain Armstrong is also an optimist. Are you taking photos? You're going to take pictures. Okay. All right.
He's texting me.
Okay, so we have Mayor's Proclamation, City of Washington, Missouri, Bicycle Safety Week, May 13 through 19, 2018. Whereas the bicycle is an economical, healthy, convenient, and environmentally sound form of transportation and an excellent tool for recreation and enjoyment of the City of Washington's scenic beauty. And whereas creating a bicycling-friendly community has been shown to improve citizens' health, well-being, and quality of life, growing the economy, attracting tourism dollars, improving traffic safety, supporting student learning outcomes, and reducing pollution, congestion, and wear and tear on our streets and roads. And whereas the number of citizens of all ages who operate bicycles on our public streets and highways is rapidly increasing. And whereas the consequences of careless and imprudent bicycle maintenance and operation are too frequent, resulting in injury or death, and whereas the Washington Police Department, together with other members of the community, will host the 43rd Annual Bicycle Safety Rodeo on May 19, 2018, to promote greater public awareness of bicycle operation and safety education in an effort to reduce collisions, injuries, and fatalities, and improve health and safety for everyone on the road. Now therefore, I, in recognition that the health, safety, and welfare of its residents are the most valuable asset of any city, I, Sandy Lucy, Mayor, proclaim May 13th through 19th, 2018 as Bicycle Safety Week in the City of Washington and encourage all citizens to enjoy the benefits of bicycling, recognize the importance of bicycle safety, and be more aware of cyclists on our streets. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Washington, Missouri, this 7th day of May, 2018. Signed, Sandy Lucy, Mayor. So there you go. All right. Okay, and do you want to say something? Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as it said, this is our 43rd year. I've been at every one of them. Myself and Bob Camper started this 43 years ago. So my cohort in crime has been with, I don't know how many years, Julie Frankenberg with the Optimist Club. I think she's missed one time in the past few years. So we have something new this year. We're doing our Safety Town. We got 23 businesses along with the city, fire department, and police department. Had banners made from Ziegler, and we are doing our own Safety Town this year. We got a box trailer that was donated to us by the Coalition of Traffic Safety or something like that, so to store everything in. So it's been an effort on everybody's part to try to get all these businesses and all put together, but it finally got done. We had a lot of help from officers. Officer Renkmeyer, Seitz, Kesterson, there's whole tons of guys that were helping. So that is our new thing, and that's for kids from 5 and under that can't be in the rodeo. So we enjoy it. We give away a lot of bikes that are donated by everybody, a lot of people, businesses, person in town. We do trophies for each and every age group. So we have... Oh yes, we do have, every kid walks away with a helmet. That is donated by Mercy Hospital. They do the fittings. We also do car seat checks. If the car seats are outdated or they don't have a car seat, Mercy also does that. We have two other officers do it along with an office staff person, that if they come in and their car seat is not good enough, they will get one for free. So that is also done. But the big thing is to show kids safety and do the helmets now, because there's kids out there that don't ride their bikes with helmets. So we really try to stress that a lot to do that. So it's our 43rd year. If you know anybody?
What's the name of the Safety Town?
We call it Jimmy's World. After Captain Armstrong. And it's because he's an optimist and he runs that thing, and him and Officer Tollison, that is a lot to do with kids 5 years old and younger, riding pedal cars through our town. So yeah, so we nicknamed it Jimmy's World.
Jimmy's World. We have a big band for Jimmy's World.
Pardon me?
We have a big band for Jimmy's World.
Yeah, we're going to have a big archway that says Jimmy's World.
His own song.
So if you know anybody, it's May 19th in a couple of weeks. Starts at 9 o'clock in the morning out of the Swine Pavilion. So
Great.
do it all over again. Jimmy's World.
Mayor's Proclamation, National Police Week.
Okay.
National Police Week.
Front and center. Now.
Not as quick as I thought.
Long day.
Right after.
Oh, yeah. Get them police up there.
Some of the new guys are here tonight. Yeah.
Jimmy's World.
I like Jimmy
World right
Town.
here.
Jimmy Town. I thought that had a better ring.
Jimmy Town. Glad to see you all here tonight. This is great. Mayor's Proclamation, City of Washington, Missouri, National Police Week, May 13 through 19, 2018. Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation which designated May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as National Police Week. And whereas the members of the law enforcement agency of the City of Washington play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the City of Washington. And whereas it is important that all citizens know and understand the problems, duties, responsibilities of their police department, and that members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence and disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the police department of the City of Washington has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency which unceasingly provides a vital public service. And whereas U.S. flags are to be flown at half-staff on Peace Officers Memorial Day, May 15th, in tribute to those peace officers that have made the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Now therefore I, Sandy Lucy, Mayor of the City of Washington, Missouri, call upon all citizens of Washington and upon all patriotic, civic, and educational organizations to observe the week of May 13 through 19, 2018 as Police Week, with appropriate ceremonies and observances in which all of our citizens may join in commemorating police officers, past and present, who by their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities have rendered a dedicated service to this community, and in doing so have established for themselves an enviable and enduring reputation for preserving the rights and security of all citizens. I further call upon all citizens of Washington, Missouri to observe May 15th, 2018 as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of those peace officers who through their courageous deeds have lost their lives or have become disabled in the performance of duty. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Washington, Missouri, this 7th day of May, 2018. Signed, Sandy Lucy, Mayor.
I get to work. Rookies speak.
I speak for all our department in thanking the mayor for this proclamation. It is an honor and a privilege to serve the citizens of this fine community, and we will continue to do so to keep the peace, preserve the safety of all of our citizens, and do community-oriented policing, get to know them, and have them get to know us. So thank you very much. And May 15th is Peace Officer Memorials Day. At 9 o'clock at the flag poles, we will do a flag ceremony. Everyone's invited, council, department heads, the public. We'll have the chaplain there. We'll see if Father can be there for blessing. And we're looking at some children from the schools to do the Pledge of Allegiance with everyone. So we'll do a flag observance May 15th, Tuesday, 9 a.m.
Is that Ed's World?
That's the City of Washington World. Thank you.
Thank you all for being here tonight. We all recognize the great job you all do for us. How are you? Thanks. Oh, thank you.
Mayor's Proclamation, Historic Preservation Month.
Hello. Okay, so it's Historic Preservation Month. Are you all doing the photo treasure hunt again? Okay. Mayor's Proclamation, City of Washington, Missouri, Historic Preservation Month, May 2017. Whereas historic preservation is an effective tool for managing growth and sustainable development, revitalizing neighborhoods, fostering local pride, and maintain community character while enhancing livability. And whereas historic preservation is relevant for communities across the nation, both urban and rural, and for Americans of all ages, all walks of life, and all ethnic backgrounds. And whereas it is important to celebrate the role of history in our lives and the contributions made by dedicated individuals in helping to preserve the tangible aspects of the heritage that has shaped us as a people. And whereas This Place Matters is the theme for the National Historic Preservation Month, which is co-sponsored by the City of Washington and the National Trust for Historic Preservation. Now therefore, I, Sandy Lucy, Mayor of Washington, Missouri, do hereby proclaim May 2018 to be Historic Preservation Month in the City of Washington, Missouri, and call upon the people of Washington to join their fellow citizens across the United States in recognizing and participating in this special observance. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the seal of the City of Washington, Missouri, this 7th day of May, 2018. Signed, Sandy Lucy, Mayor. Here we go.
Thank you very much. If you look around downtown Washington, you know historic preservation is alive and well. The project going on just west of the landing is an example of that. It's going to be housing, apartments, people living downtown 24/7, and that doesn't even include the new construction. Washington is alive and well, and hopefully we at Historic Preservation Commission and historic preservation as a whole helps contribute to that. We are going to do our historic preservation treasure hunt again. A lot of people are familiar with that. We try and get the schools involved. We have a very easy one, and then we have a harder one for the adults. So the idea is to look up and to find out what's out there that's old that can be worth saving, and that place matters. Thank you very much.
The slogan, "This Place Matters," was quite often used when we were at the National Main Street Conference this year. And, you know, the first time you hear it, it's like, okay. And then when you really start listening to it, it's like, you know, it's very true. This place matters and things like that. So it was a great theme up there, and they're continuing on with it. So when you think about all the development and all the change that we've had in our historic area, it's pretty amazing. So thank you all for being supportive. Now we have the Municipal Clerks Week. Sherry? Okay. Going to say something? Okay. Mayor's Proclamation, City of Washington, Missouri. Municipal Clerks Week, May 16, excuse me, oh, I got that wrong. Municipal Clerks Week, May 6 through 12, 2018. Whereas the office of the municipal clerk, a time-honored and vital part of local government, exists throughout the world, and whereas the office of the municipal clerk is the oldest among public servants, And whereas the office of the municipal clerk provides the professional link between the citizens, the local governing bodies, and agencies of government at other levels. And whereas municipal clerks have pledged to be ever mindful of their neutrality and impartiality, rendering equal service to all. Whereas the municipal clerk serves as the information center on functions of local government and community. And whereas municipal clerks continually strive to improve the administration of the affairs of the office of the municipal clerk through participation in education programs, seminars, workshops, and the annual meetings of their state, provincial, county, and international professional organizations. Whereas it is most appropriate that we recognize the accomplishments of the office of the municipal clerk. Now therefore I, Sandy Lucy, Mayor of Washington, Missouri, do recognize the week of May 6th through May 12th, 2018 as Municipal Clerks Week, and further extend appreciation to our municipal clerk, Mary Trentman, and to all municipal clerks for the vital services they perform and their exemplary dedication to the communities they represent. Dated this day of May 2018, signed Sandy Lucy, Mayor. There we go.
Just wanted to say thank you very much for the support and recognition.
Good job, Mary.
Police Department reappointments.
I have for reappointment 5 police officers with the City of Washington Police Department. Captain Jim Armstrong, could you step forward?
Jimmy's World.
Sergeant Joe Kaputska. Sergeant Joseph Frankenmeyer and Sergeant Balladeer had family matters tonight. Detective Sergeant Steve Seitz. These gentlemen are part of your leadership for your police department. They are an important part of the police department and provide excellent leadership and direction to our officers. They are indispensable to me in their performance of their duties, and they do a fantastic job, each and every one of them. Very professional, very knowledgeable in what they do. You can be proud in them and the service they provide. I would respectfully request that you reappoint each and every one of them.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Patke, seconded by Sullentrup, for the reappointment of Captain Jim Armstrong, Sergeant Joseph Kapuska, Sergeant Darrell Balladeer, Detective Sergeant Stephen Seitz, and Sergeant Joe Renkemeyer. And that would be for a 1-year term expiring June 7th, 2019. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you approve the reappointments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Any speeches?
Citizens' comments?
Is there anyone here who would like to address the council on any item that is not on the agenda? Anyone?
You spoke too soon.
Hello, everyone. Jeff Gardner, Frank County Recycling. I would like to invite everyone out on Friday, this week and Saturday. If any of the council members can make it, I'm also going to shoot for the planning and zoning. I'm going to shoot them emails, see if they can make it out to see the fence, see the property lines, and just look over my site. Everyone's more than welcome to come. I do have a card with my phone number on it. If anyone needs to call me and make a different arrangement, I can make myself available at any time.
Okay. All
That's
right.
all I really have.
Maybe leave your number with Sherry and we can get,
Okay, you want? Okay, I have a bunch of cards, so if anyone.
it's fine, we'll pick one up.
You can leave them with Sherry. All right. Thank you. Uh-huh. Okay.
Report of department heads?
Okay, this evening, under the report of department heads, we're going to have the ISO report. Okay?
Bill Helmick, Fire Chief. I would like at this time to turn the program over for a brief summarization of the project we've been working on the last several months with ESCI regarding the fire station location and ISO review. So without further ado, Stuart McCutcheon, ESCI. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, council members, good evening. Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm going to do a brief 40,000-foot take of this report just to give you all an idea of who we are, what we're here to do, and what you can expect to see. We're past the halfway point on both of these reports now. We've done a review of the ISO, and so really what we're doing now with the ISO is going back and kicking every rock over to make sure we have the right answer and the best answer for the city, and then the same with the station location report. And so, as Chief said, my name is Stuart McCutcheon. I'm a project manager with Emergency Services Consulting International. ESCI has been in business for over 40 years with a consulting arm in the International Association of Fire Chiefs. We do master plan, strategic plans, station location, executive searches, and a litany of other executive type functions. We're an exclusive partner with ISO. We use ISO's data to create the reports, and then, as in Washington's case, you sit down with the director of ISO to review the report and make sure that everything is accurate and up to date. We use a data-driven approach to create our reports. Everything is either based in data or based on national and consensus standards. So for your project, the first project was a station location study. We're looking at current and future fire station location needs. We're evaluating historical as well as estimating future demand, examining staffing and deployment approaches for either the current station locations or, if it turns out, potential future locations. We're also seeking to establish a level of service for the Washington Volunteer Fire Company and the desired level of service of the community. So that way, the levels of service provided by the department and the expectations of the community are in harmony. The study will also include some other elements that we need to use to get to that point, and that'll include a call volume and deployment analysis, response time, variations by time of day of week and season, any service delivery gaps that may exist, deployment strategies to address service demands and your level of service, and then community risk factors affecting the city of Washington. The ISO benchmarking study is looking at some of the same information, but for a different angle. For the first, we're looking at department holistically. ISO is concerned predominantly with fire suppression activities. And so the way we put that together is we benchmark the Washington Fire Department against 25 peers from across the country, primarily from this region, same size, same makeup, same population, same structure. And so you can see how you benchmark against your peers, how you benchmark against regional averages, national averages, and then against the standard. And that's the review we did this afternoon, the initial review. My purpose in this is to serve as liaison between the city and ISO to ensure that the information is accurate and correct, particularly since I've been down in your data. I can see when things don't look like they quite add up, and that way we can get the correct information to ISO. Identify specific areas of improvement and then prioritize these by cost and the impact, so that way we're doing the greatest impact at the lowest cost items first, and then working our way down to have the most cost-effective approach possible. Just to tell you an initial approach from both of these studies, we can see that there's development occurring down in the southeast area of the city. It looks like there's a lot of basically new development coming in that appears to be supported by single-lane roads. And so because of that, it'd be something I'd keep an eye on. That would have the potential of having some difficulties getting in and out, and that may be the driving force towards doing a station or something of that effect. We haven't completed all the analysis with that yet, so I just wanted to put that out there, that there are some indicators pointing there, but we're not quite there yet. So basically, we're trying to answer three questions. Where are we now? What's our current level of service? Where should we be? And how do we get there? And that's where we're looking to the future. We're looking at standards, and we're looking at your desired level of service. The project team, project oversight for this, our COO, Stuart McElhaney. He worked his way up in the Texas volunteer system, then became chief of Marion County, Florida, which is a career department. I'm Stuart McCutcheon, the project manager. I started out as a career firefighter, but my first chief's role for about 4.5 years was as a volunteer chief, and then I moved on career departments. And James Angle retired as chief of Palm Harbor, Florida, but started as a volunteer in New Jersey. And so we bring a lot of different skill sets together, going from either rural or metro type volunteers up to rural to medium-sized municipalities and counties to the table for this report. So our priorities are to answer specific questions, make sure that we understand what the problem is and that we listen to what your needs are. Our approach is objective. If the data points the answer is this, that's the answer we'll give. Whether it's the news you wanted to hear or not, because again, we're data driven, and we want to come in to this report having something that we can stand behind. Your feedback is of the utmost importance. I think the Chief could speak to that today, that we definitely want feedback from you all and want everyone to understand why the recommendations we're presenting are the way they are. And then finally, to provide elected officials with data to make informed decisions. So that way it's not someone's opinion necessarily, it's not how someone feels, but it's based on data and information from this report. These are just a couple of examples of some of the charts and graphs. These are some of the temporal models, pie charts, service demand type, using GIS analytics and some traditional analytics is how we determine some of these different factors we develop. We look at things like travel time, turnout, 90th percentile, unit hour utilization rates, effective response force development, and things of that nature. And finally, community risk reduction. As best we can, we want to take your information, identify risk, and determine, do we have the resources where we need them, or do we know where to locate resources if we have those low risk, high impact events occur throughout the city. And finally, we'll provide you recommendations, more than likely in a series of options. And so that way, we don't want to come to tell you how to operate your organization. We want to give you the data and the information, and then provide some ideas of different approaches and what those potential impacts could be. And then at that point, it's a policy decision on how to proceed. We use benchmarks and national standards, things like the National Fire Protection Association, our recommendations based on national standards. And with that, I'll conclude and stand for any questions.
Prepared for questions.
When can we expect the report?
The report should be done here fairly soon. With the ISO, we've just gone through and identified several factors that we want to collect more data on. And again, that's to ensure the best answer we can get. The other report, the station location, that's part of my purpose here over the next couple of days, to fill in any gaps in information and to get feedback on what we discovered so far. So both are probably approaching the 75% mark, and based on the feedback we get, the intention is to go back to finalize, and within the next maybe 4 to 6 weeks, have a final report that staff can review and then schedule for final presentation.
Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments? We thank you for being here.
Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for your report. Darren, did you have anything for this part? Okay. Okay.
Ordinances and resolutions. An ordinance authorizing and directing the City of Washington, Missouri to enter into an agreement with Sullenshup Contracting, LLC for labor and materials to build piers and pad for the Washington Police Department firearms range.
Patke.
Introduced by Councilman Patke.
This is for the next phase in the shooting range, department shooting range. It's a concrete piers and slab will be placed on the range with the idea of budgeting and building in a future pavilion on the slab. So far completed out there with a lot of help from Public Works Street Department. We have millings down for the roadway, a parking lot, shooting lanes. We have the berm up. We have target placement. We have a mound built with a convex trailer on it, which will store targets in and other items. So things have been coming along really well. And we have used it to qualify new officers with the Ranger. We have yet to install some movable gating or portable gating on the dike of that berm to keep the tractors out there so they know when they're shooting going on. And then gated, possibly some type of gating to prevent people from going down.
Was the nearest shooting range the one in Eureka?
Union is the nearest one. It's in the Sheriff's Department in Union, and it's available when it's open. So they do their qualifications on it. Other agencies come in, so we have to have it available to use it. Then we have to go to Union, set up there to use it. I'm not sure how it's going to change once they build the new jail, because it's going to be very close to where the range is now. This will give us the ability to not have to travel far. Officers can go there on duty and qualify rather than having to take a day off duty to do it. And also they can go there for practice.
I agree with having it, I just didn't know how close.
That's the closest. We also have used Unions, City of Union, and theirs is, it's an okay range, but it's okay, that's all.
Will the one here be available to other departments that may need, like what you're talking about?
If the city would let us do that, the Sheriff's Department may have a time when they need to use it, when they're undergoing construction, or other agencies may request it. I know the Sheriff's Department hasn't let us use theirs, so I feel we kind of obligated if they would need to use it, we could use ours.
Is that a council decision?
And the low bid was Solid Trip Contracting LLC at $6,400.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Okay.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the City of Washington, Missouri to enter into an agreement with the Sullentrop Contracting LLC for labor and materials to build piers and pad for the Washington Police Department Firearms Range. Scornia?
Yes.
Sullentrop?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Hydrich?
Aye.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Moheski?
Aye.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a temporary site license by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and New Singular Wireless, PCS LLC and its affiliates.
Scornia.
Introduced by Councilman Scornia.
This is the temporary cellular tower that goes up on the fairgrounds during the fair, well, during the park and during the fair. They've been doing it for a number of years now, but it's done on an annual basis. So.
Any questions or comments?
An ordinance authorizing and directing the execution of a temporary site license by and between the City of Washington, Missouri and New Singular Wireless, PCS LLC and its affiliates. Scornia?
Yes.
Sullentrop? Patke?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Hydrich?
Aye.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Moheski?
Aye.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
An ordinance accepting the bid from SK Contractors and to approve the purchase and installation of asphalt roofing and materials by the City of Washington, Missouri.
Holtmeyer.
Introduced by Councilman Holtmeyer. Darren?
Outlined in my memo in your packet, last spring we had roughly 19 locations that were affected by the storm, either through wind or hail, and our adjuster identified those, and we've been working for several months on this. We've been breaking this down into different bid packages based on the type of roofs and locations as such, and this is the first package that has went out, and is for 4 different locations, Rennick Riverfront Park, Fire Station Number 3, Optimus Park, and Grace's Place, because they are all the same type of shingles. And we said we went out to bid. We had 2 bidders. However, one bidder was thrown out because they did not go follow the procedures and the requirements of the bid. SK Contractors were the low bid, and we looked at all that. One of the things that we're doing, which just gets somewhat difficult with the insurance and how they broke down the money, like at Rennick Riverfront Park, there were several facilities there. As you know, we have our main pavilion, then there's a bunch of other smaller pavilions in the restroom building there. And at Optimus Park, you have the main pavilion, the restroom, the barbecue pit as well. And tonight, I'm only bringing forward some of these recommendations, and it's for the main park at Rennick and not the other pavilions, and some of this is due to the insurance money, and we're still looking at some of that. But we have identified the need for the replacement of the roof of the main pavilion for the past couple of years. Same way at the Optimus Park, doing the main pavilion there, and doing the garage at Fire Station 3, and the backside asphalt roof on Grace's Place. And talking to our insurance company and sharing the bids that were turned in, they're taking another look at that and comparing it to some of the funds that they had initially identified, and they might do some adjustment into that in the future. So if we decide to come back and do any of the other work, there might be funds there, and we could do that through a change order or through another bid. But right now, I'm just looking at the 4 main structures in this bid document.
So the amount of money we got from the insurance company will cover these 4 bids.
Yes, this shouldn't cost the city anything. It should be a wash based on the projections of the money that they have allotted.
That's great. It is. It's been a long time coming, but it needs to happen.
And we're also, and just so you know, like I said, we're breaking this up into several packages. This is package A. Package B is due tomorrow. Package C is due on Wednesday. By the end of the week, I'll be sending out package D, and after that, package E. And some of this will help. Some, as you may recall, in the half-cent capital improvement sales tax we're going out, we had some roofing funds in there. This should help alleviate some of that as well. Maybe not all of it, but it should help.
Package B will be what, Darren?
Package B, if I'm getting all straight in my head, package B, I believe, is the train depot and the freight depot. And with package C is pretty much everything in Main Park, with the exception of the auditorium roof, because that wasn't an insurance claim.
Any other questions or comments?
So all the pavilions that are going to be covered by this are ones that are in otherwise good repair, not ones that need to have other repairs done? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Normally, we have time frames on contracts. Suppose the same contractor gets all of them?
This package have to be, I believe, off the top of my head, by the end of June. We have another one that's due by the end of July, I believe, and another one in June. And so we will have to look at that to make sure that if the same contractor is low bid, that they can handle that amount of work. That'll be something that we will have to look at.
Part of the reason why you broke it into several packages was due to the different types of roofs too. So we
Right.
don't anticipate all of the same contractor. There could be some overlap, but.
Okay, good job. Okay.
An ordinance accepting the bid from SK Contractors and to approve the purchase and installation of asphalt roofing and materials by the City of Washington, Missouri. Scornia?
Yes.
Solentrup?
Yes.
Patke?
Yes.
Pettit?
Yes.
Waterman?
Yes.
Heidrich?
Aye.
Holtmeyer?
Aye.
Moheski?
Aye.
By your vote, you approve the ordinance. Thank you.
A resolution authorizing the City of Washington to apply for funding through the East-West Gateway Council of Governments to provide for the 3rd Street Overlay and Improvements Project in the City of Washington, Franklin County, Missouri.
Introduced by Councilman Solentrup.
Okay, appreciate it. This may be deja vu to a few of you. Last year, we did apply for the same project through East-West Gateway. We were, I believe, the first out of that funding, so we did not get funded through that project. The application fee does get reimbursed, so there was really no concern with that. But in this round of funding, we're going to apply for the same project again. There is a new scoring mechanism through East-West Gateway that provides I believe, a better chance for us to get those funds available to us, specifically with our ADA transition plan that I'm hoping to have in place by the time of the application deadline of June 14th. So I'm just requesting that you all agree and we can move forward with applying for essentially the same project. It would be a total reconstruction of all the sidewalks and curb and gutter on 3rd Street from Jefferson to Highway 47, and then a complete mill and fill overlay as well. So it's a fairly substantial rehab of 3rd Street. That would occur in the year 2022.
Any questions or comments? Okay, so we have Steve introduced it, we'll call that a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, so a motion by Solentrup, second by Patke to approve the resolution or accept the resolution. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? By your vote, you accepted the resolution. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mayor's report, retirement letter from Chief Holmick.
At our last meeting, I mentioned that I had received a retirement letter from Chief Halmick as chief of the fire department, and we just included that letter in the packet tonight so that you would have a copy of it. I'd also like to mention that the United Way is doing their peanut butter and jelly drive this month, during the month of May. And so you all can bring peanut butter and jelly if you would like to participate. All the floors here at the city and across the city, we're all bringing in peanut butter and jelly. And I think the drive goes till the end of the month. So, and then I think you probably have seen our new logo, and we're currently in the process of developing that into our business cards and our stationery. So that's a work in progress, but we will be getting the business cards going here rather soon.
Pretty quick.
So that you all have the new updated business cards. And after today's look at them, we're going to do a few tweaks, but it'll be similar to this. And then have to let us know what information you want on that, cell phones or whatever. So when we're ready for that, we'll let you know. Okay. And that's all I have.
Sandy, who designed the logo?
It was designed by, we had a team here at the city who participated on the committee, and it was designed by Diane Cage.
I'd read the article, but I never saw who actually did the design work.
It was Diane Cage.
She also did the work for Missouri River Country, so we were familiar with the
Nice.
work on that.
It looks good.
Yeah. She has a really good way of doing it, so a lot of participation, and comes up with a lot of little cards with words on it. Does this word describe your town? Does this, does? And we had, about 6 or 8 people on our committee, and, you know, and then a lot of samples, color-wise, and things like that. So it's a very thorough, and that's how we felt about it when it was with the
Missouri River.
Missouri River Country. It was like, wow, we were really able to kind of convey how we felt about our community, or how we felt about Missouri River Country. And I think everyone who participated this time really felt like we participated in that. So that's all I have. Do you?
City Administrator's report.
Just a few things. The budget process has started. I think department heads had to turn those in by May 1st to the finance department. So we'll be starting to look over those numbers. John had reported at the department head meeting this morning, John Nildis, that pavement possibly for next week along Albert Drive to go ahead and connect the trails as far as the trailhead, et cetera. And we're also looking at fencing, the fencing portion of the project. We are probably going to put up some temporary security fencing, I guess, not really security, but just caution fencing before that fence is put up along the trail there next to the tracks, because we did hear some reports of there's a lot more traffic going on down there. There's some concern with regards to folks getting onto those tracks, et cetera. That's part of an area that's going to be fenced anyway, but we're going to go ahead and just put up some cautionary stuff in the meantime.
Yeah, I would add, if you guys see the cones, we've delivered them this afternoon, Tony and I did, and I think Darren Dunkel's going to work with putting up some type of fencing. We're not quite sure what that looks like yet.
But just something
we have available to us.
Just a cautionary thing to go ahead and keep anybody from climbing up that hillside closer to the tracks. The last item I have is that we are advertising to fill the position of building official Those applications are supposed to be in this week. We may have to extend that deadline an additional week. But let you know that we're waiting for those to come in. That's all I have, and I do not have anything for you in executive session. That's been a first, I think, yeah, for a while.
Council comments?
I have a couple things, Mayor. There's been, it's come to my attention that there's been some meetings, and I haven't got to meet, I didn't get to attend any of them. Had some other things going at our local Catholic parishes, and I believe you were there at Lourdes and stuff. And in those meetings, it was brought up that Washington has not grown at all and hasn't for 10 years. It's stagnant. I was just wondering if that was any concern of anybody's and here, and should we try to form a committee or something to look into this and see what the problem is, why we're at a standstill?
Well, I could address it a little. I'll try to address that a little bit. And my previous role was economic development. It wasn't new. It was something that was talked about at every single Washington Civic Industrial Corporation meeting, every 353 Redevelopment Corporation meeting. It's I wouldn't say that there's absolutely no growth, but I mean it's slower than what it had been in the past. And it's not only just for the city of Washington probably, but it's also been for Franklin County as a whole. And some communities have grown quite a lot. You've seen Union grow quite a bit. You've seen New Haven, some of those other communities. But still, it's just overall Franklin County has not grown that much. There has been some attempts made. I know Sal has been working with the chamber to try to go ahead and do some promotional material to go ahead and get the word out with regards to letting people know what's going on in Washington so that we can go ahead and try to attract others to go ahead and possibly move here, live here, appreciate the things that we do. But I think, you know, and there's some other cities, you can go out there and Google some articles. I forwarded an article to the mayor just yesterday that I saw in the Wall Street Journal with regards to some communities are actually, you know, giving away lots to young millennials if they want to go ahead and move into their communities. I don't know that we're there yet, but I mean, I'm just telling you that there's a wide array of a shortage of workers, and there's a lot of different approaches by communities to try to go ahead and combat that. And so I would hear it all the time from the employers in town with regards to the workforce, you know, and it's just, that's not new. That discussion's been going on, I think, for like 10 years.
It's been going on, Darren. I think the other thing is, too, if you keep in mind, one of that is we really don't have a ton of land in Washington to be able to build big complexes. And we talk about annexing, and nobody wants to do it, and it's a catch-22.
Yeah.
You know, and we go back to that same thing. You know, we're landlocked one direction by a big giant farm. We're landlocked by a river. There's only so many different directions we can go.
Yeah.
So
I would say, you know, like one of the ideas, we're still in the process of redeveloping the A Street area down there where the old Frykes was located. And the more you're able to go ahead and provide lots like that at affordable rates for housing that you know, for a target of our population that we don't typically build for, I think it's a good thing. I think it just gives us that much more opportunity for younger couples to go ahead and start here rather than in some of those other communities I mentioned earlier.
How many is Weber, I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead. How many is Weber going to end up when he's done out there?
Oh, the Overlook?
We have 34 lots that are available now, and a phase 2 has been approved, and that is an additional 20.
How are they selling when they're building them? I mean, they seem to be selling pretty quickly.
They sell immediately.
Yeah.
Right now, we probably in the past 12 to 18 months have had upwards of 90 lots available, and I know that you know, there's quite a few under construction right now, homes.
I think it goes back to the same thing. I think people want to move here. I just don't think we have the land, or we're going to have to do something in that regard to, I don't know.
Well, in the out there where we're talking about right now, Bix Place is what I'm calling it.
Yeah.
Whatever.
The Overlook.
The Overlook.
Weber Farm.
I mean, that's really the first time the housing development right now. We have more plans here in
Correct.
City Hall than we've had since 2006.
Correct. That was the
You
number.
know, this is the most.
And-
So,
I mean, without a doubt,
it's-
we're behind the 8 ball, you know, on that. But I think slowly we're going to make progress on picking up steam, and we just
I'm optimistic.
And
but-
that's not reflected in those numbers that we're hearing now, just what the mayor just alluded to. So, I mean, that's.
Well, an individual just wanted me to bring it forward.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought I would, I didn't think we were stagnant for the last 10 years. So I kind of had a conversation with him. He said, well, that's what a major business owner said in one of these meetings. I said, well.
Well, I think when you look at the fact that Washington from 2000 and whatever, at 2010, we had grown by 600.
Yeah,
At the
it was a very small
2010
amount.
census was pretty stagnant. I mean, that's not a lot of growth at the 2010 census. And in the 2015 census, we grew by 100 and, but you did the story, under.
You don't remember?
But it was just, it wasn't 200, you know.
It wasn't a lot.
In 5 years. And when we're studying the schools, how many of those 100 and something people are school-age kids? I mean, all of that plays into it. So, I mean, to say that, I mean, we certainly aren't growing by leaps and bounds.
It's funny that you got half the town that says, hey, we want to grow, and the other half says, hey, we like it the way it is.
Right.
You know, so you always have
Absolutely.
that butting heads as well, so.
I would also add, I mean, our infrastructure is top-notch right now. I mean, our bridges are above grade 70, which is phenomenal on the list. The water treatment plants, I mean, we're open for business. So
Right.
I think it's just, we're ready to go.
And I think we all should
there's
take
no doubt in my mind, John. I
responsibility.
just, like I say, it
no,
was
just
brought to my attention,
wanted to-
so I was asked to bring it forward.
I would say a bigger concern I think that was brought was in 2015 when they had that 5-year mark, and they noticed that Franklin County had not really grown very much. And as we discussed before, a lot of it had to do with, we had growth in Franklin County, like it or not, from a large employer, the Chrysler plant in Fenton. And it contributed quite a bit. And when it shut down in 2008 and 2009, both of those lines, I think it's safe to say we've never fully recovered from that.
No.
And that's where I think you get the stagnant growth. And so now you see everything north of us in Wentzville and those areas due to the fact that you've got that auto plant up there and all those suppliers. So it just shifts around. It depends on where the major employment is.
You get smaller families today too than you used to have, and people are still dying.
Yeah, yeah, every day.
Every day.
Are they?
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Another good point, be careful what you wish for.
Careful what you wish for.
Go to Wentzville and see roofs coming up and they can't keep up with the
Right.
infrastructure, so I mean, as long as we're prepared and in the right spot, we're okay.
And I think we all need to serve as ambassadors for our community and talk about, if people are interested, we need to encourage them to.
The last thing I'll add is that the chamber is working, and Sal, they've been jointly working together to go ahead and put this marketing material to go ahead. The bridge is a big deal, for that infrastructure to go ahead and be built, and so they're using that as kind of as a push to go ahead and market the community even more, to tell them, here's what's going on, here's the investment. And, we're pretty excited about, the 41 acres being sold and one of our largest employers to go ahead and take advantage of that. So there's a lot of good stuff. I think a lot of times we don't necessarily maybe report that enough. And in this day and age, I think we only got one reporter here from the media covering our meetings. We got to go out and push that issue ourselves a lot of times. And so we haven't always done that in the past.
And there's one other thing, and Darren, I've asked you about this already, and I just wanted to bring it back up to see if it got any forward, if it went forward at all. Remember I talked to you about the residents Rabbit Trail South are saying they're in a dead zone back there for cell service, and I asked if we can talk to a representative of the local cell services to see about getting a tower, see if how we would work that, or.
We've contacted AT&T and let them know that there's been expressed that there's about the dead zone that's down there or whatever. At that time, they said that they're going to go ahead and take a look at their market and see what they can go ahead and do. But I have not heard back from them. We did address it with AT&T.
Thank you. All right, because it was brought to my attention again. And then, John, I left you a message today. All right, we can talk about it later. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Sullentrup, seconded by Patke to adjourn the meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.
I think they're back up and running. I think they're up and running.
Awesome.
They're out there.
I'm
It's
glad it
running.
was short-lived.
He was talking about if we wouldn't have shut down the flag.